Today we're going to look at how to make stitch holders for DPN needles. And you can see here what you will need. 2 pieces of fabric, needles, snaps, thread. I like to use anchor thread for stitching, and a pair of scissors and possibly a ruler. You may also want to use a marker. Cut 2 pieces of fabric and put them right sides together, and then you're going to stitch around 3 of the sides. The 4th side you're going to leave a little gap so that you can turn the holder inside out. Clip the corners, being careful not to snip the stitching. And then turn the bag inside out so that you now have the right side of the fabric facing you. Take a pin to pull out the corners to make them neat and sharp. And then take an iron and just be ironing the whole thing smooth. Then fold it in half, the inside fabric inside. Then you're going to put the snaps on, and the fabric has been cut so that it is actually longer than your DPN. These DPN double pointed needles are 6 inches long. So the fabric was probably 8 to 9 inches when I cut it. And you're going to put the snaps so that they will hold the needles in place behind them. And this is where you might want to have a ruler and a marker just to mark where you're going to put those snaps. About half an inch to an inch in and 1/4 of an inch up. I'm using pink thread so that you can see it against the black fabric, but of course you could use black thread against black fabric. And then buttonhole the edges at the sides. I've made 2 because I'm making 2 socks. These are the books that I use for my socks. And if you look at my Floss Tube episode number 14, I do talk about the socks that I knit from these books. But there is a pair that's now been made. As you can see, I've made 2 holders. They're reversible so that I can identify which is for the left-hand sock needles and which for the right hand. Somebody said to me recently, oh, I never use socks, I never knit them because I'll make one and never get round to the other one. So I always knit a pair of socks or a pair of mittens at the same time. This is my right-hand sock. I have the rose fabric outside. And there is the holder for my left-hand sock needles. You can see them tucked in there, being kept very safe. They're just absolutely important to have, I think, when you're dealing with DPN, that you don't lose them, or if they're wooden, they might break. 2 little holders, and you can see very neat buttonhole stitching to stitch up the sides. And nicely done by hand. You don't need a sewing machine for these. I'm now knitting a pair of white socks using this wool. It's lovely and soft, and they will be lace socks, and they're out of the Socks Around the World, the smaller book there. I love knitting socks and I love knitting lace. So there we have them very neatly in my knitting basket. Hope you've enjoyed it. and that it's been helpful and that you will go ahead and try and stitch these, and see you soon. Bye!